Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another League of Legends weekend. I am joined here by Gavin. My name is James, and we are excited to be getting into draft here really quick. Gavin, what are you excited for this game? It's been a while since we've casted. How have you been?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm ready to watch some more League. I'm ready to commentate on some more League here. We got UWRF versus McGill University. We're in the pick and bans right now, so we're trying to figure out what's going on here. And we'll get into the game in a couple seconds. We'll be able to talk about draft.
Absolutely, and there's a little bit of some difficulties on my end. I keep staring into the light, so I'm a little blind. But it does. Do my eyes deceive me? We have a Jinx first pick.
Ooh, it does look that way. It does. Okay, so we've got, let's see, we don't have an ADC on the other side yet for whoever is on which side. I believe Jinx is on the sides of McGill. We're red side. All right, UWRF is on the red side. So we got a Galio pick, it's looking like, on mid lane. Zach possibly in the jungle, and Hui. Those are our 3 picks so far. So Kai'Sa getting banned away on the ADC side, so we're going to see maybe a last pick by UWRF on the ADC. So what do you think about that?
I'm thinking it's probably a good idea to save the counter pick for your highest rated player. This is somebody who has come to the table and was able to make this team basically 2 elos higher than they were as an average. So I think saving counter pick for them is probably the smartest idea.
I think so.
McGill University, though, opting for a Rumble, while like 4th pick, while already knowing it's going to go into I assume a Galio perhaps, or maybe even a Zach. It could be a flex top either way. So I want to know how that's going to work out, because Rumble definitely has a lot of damage output, especially, I mean, depending on how you're building him. I assume you would be building him damage. Right. And it definitely goes great into the macro of late game. You can ult an entire wave and just basically clear that wave out for some free CS, some free, tempo on the map. But the issue is, with so many tanks on the side of River Falls, I don't know if the Rumble is going to provide much support other than trying to peel back the squishies on the back line.
For sure.
And whenever that happens, there's enough mobility. You got Corki. I guess the only one that doesn't really have mobility is Hui, but Janna, Eerie is a great Janna player. He's going to be able to have those shield spells up for everybody that is going to be immobile. So I don't know how McGill University is going to break through River Falls is my main point.
Yeah, they definitely have a strong front line and even a mid line with the Corki. And Corki being able to provide a lot of CC and a lot of kind of lane control with his abilities, laying down fire, laying down whatever he's doing. He's a good kind of Rumble counterpart in the fact that he's got a little bit more range. But the Hui with a lot of CC, as usual, Hui with a lot of damage in the backline. If the Zac and the Galio can protect him, obviously the John is going to be there to provide some support in some other ways. This is going to be an interesting matchup, I think. I'm going to take a look at here what we got on the other side. Rumble Jarvan in the jungle, Gwen in the mid lane versus the Hui. That'll be, we're going to see some aggressive plays probably by the Gwen. So, and then we got a Jinx Lulu versus Corki Janna, it's looking like. So, Corki typically seen on the mid lane, but we're going to see some Corki on the bot lane, which is going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah, the most interesting part about the mid lane to me is just the matchup itself. See, we've seen Pizza Boy on Hui before. Played actually a solid game against the block. They ended up losing that match and the series, but I don't think it was directly attributed to the Hui. I think the Hui laned very well. I think that Pizza has been working on his CS, which was his biggest downfall. So I think he's going to be able to actually get through the early and mid game very well. The issue I have is the late game. As long as he can just stay above that Gwen, and the Gwen just provides no use in the team fights, that's going to be the biggest issue for McGill University, is trying to find a way to make their mid laner useful. Because a Gwen, it can be a stomping champion in the top, especially against other melees. But against a ranged character like Hui, where it's just a pumping artillery damage at you and there's really nothing you can do if your E's on cooldown, I don't know if this Gwen's going to survive very long if Sair's on point today.
That's exactly what I was thinking with the Gwen versus a ranged melee or a ranged attacker, and especially with Hui being, I think, give or take a couple of things, but definitely given his Q, he's got a lot of range.
Oh, yeah.
And he can create a lot of space between him and his laning opponent.
A lot of options, too.
For sure.
If you don't know, Hui doesn't just have like 4 abilities. It's, what was the count again?
It's 3 in 3. So his Q, W, and E have 3 different options.
So he has 9 different abilities, not including his ult, and you can mix and match all of them to make different, combos and whatnot. So, and knowing how Pizza Boy is comfortable in this champion, I'm sure he knows all about them more than Gavin and I do. So it's going to be very interesting to see the mid lane. I, for one, as somebody who plays a lot of top lane, I'm very interested to see the Rumble Galio. However, I don't really know if it's going to be more of a stalemate or if it's going to be a scrap, because both of these characters could box it out. They could go. We even saw, like, even in pro play, Broken Blade pull out the Galio, and he was doing the most aggressive Galio plays I've ever seen in my entire life. I just don't know if Arrow Hunter is going to be on that same kind of wavelength, or if he wants to play a little bit more passively, play for the team fights, use that ult in a more defensive manner rather than an offensive manner. So it all depends on how River Falls chooses to engage the enemy and how McGill University reacts to that engagement.
Yeah, I think Galio. Knowing Arrow Hunter, I think we're going to see a very aggressive Galio. But versus the Rumble specifically, I think the Rumble is going to, obviously they have to manage their overheat, and they want the overheat to be triggered when the flamethrower is out. So maybe space is created when the flamethrower is out, and then afterwards the Galio goes in, taunts, gets in his chip damage, and then runs away. And then maybe we'll see what kind of runes we got here to work with. But with what do we have on the Galio? The Galio has the Aftershock, so definitely going to be a little bit more defensive while being offensive. Mm-hmm. So we got Aftershock on 2, so this will be a very interesting tank matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And we haven't even talked really about the bottom lane. This is something that I was talking to UWRF Erie about pre-game, is that his Janna is something that he is very comfortable on. Right, this is an enchanter that he's been wanting to play a lot, and I think going along with the Corki, who recently, correct me if I'm wrong, got a buff on this patch, is going to show a lot more presence in the bottom lane going forward. So I think enchanting is just getting ahead of the game, showing what's meta to the other team, and also just wants to give a safer laner for the Janna player, because now Ethan Erie can get in and do his thing. He can start, boxing. He can maybe spell shield himself and do a little bit of elixir damage, because the Corki is just such a good laner. It's really, really difficult to outlane a Corki like that. But I don't know. What do you think your opinion is on the bottom lane right here? Because the Lulu Jinx, I was really surprised about the Jinx first pick, because Smite might be a really good Jinx player. I'm actually very unaware about their previous play history, but it seems like they really wanted to prioritize the bottom lane.
I like the Jinx Lulu matchup. I think it's also super unique seeing the Corki Janna matchup. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Janna being able to be mobility and walk right over minions and come more or less wherever she pleases is going to be a nice pace matcher for this Lulu. And Lulu with a lot of CC ability, with the polymorph and the silence and just that extra butterfly running around and just poke damaging. That's gonna be a nice matchup, I think, for sure, with both enchanters.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and we are getting right into the laning phase already. Minions have spawned, and we have started boxing on each lane, and it looks like it's going to be a slower-paced game than usual. Lulu is going to help Jarvan tag that red buff up before getting back in the lane, which, as to River Falls' enjoyment, is going to give them more tempo on the bottom lane. Give them a little bit more pressure, and I believe they're going to hit level 2 first. So this could be an early skirmish. It depends on how they want to approach it. The double enchanter, like you were saying, can lead to a stalemate, but it also could be, open doors to a much more aggressive playstyle. So we're going to have to see right here. Arrow Hunter also just absolutely bullying the Rumble already, which is kind of surprising, because Rumble, especially at level 2 and 3, is somebody who you want to stay under tower against, because they just do so much damage right off the bat. But it looks like Arrow Hunter actually knows this matchup pretty well. He's doing all right. The great spacing right now, going in right now for a little bit of trade on the Destort, but it doesn't matter, because he has enough health to get away, and Arrow Hunter doesn't want to push it. Pops that potion, and it might have been a little preemptive right now, because the potion is still on the Rumble side as well.
This does come with the Rumble. As he gets all of his abilities unlocked, he can start building up that burn and lay down that flamethrower as long as he wants to, and he overheats here, and this is where Arrow Hunter either has to decide this is where he's going to take the fight or this is where he's not going to take the fight. Flash for Flash comes out as we focus down on the bot lane with the tower pushed up on the side of River Falls.
Yeah, no flash in the top lane is actually going to be big for the side of McGill University. As you can see, Jarvan is full clearing from the bottom to the top, so depending on if he wants to go for the Scuttle Crab or how tempo is going to be going on top, if the wave's going to be crashing or not, he might go for a little bit of a dive. No, just kidding. Arrow Hunter actually opts for a back at level 3. Gets a control ward, but not much else after that. 8 CS on the Rumble, and it looks like top lane might be in trouble. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, it's still going to be a stalemate right now against Korean, Smite, Enchanting, and Eerie. That double enchanter build, like you were saying. Oh, no, he didn't back. Arrow Hunter TP's in against the level 4 Rumble. He's going to be able to go for a first blood right now. W does get popped. Can the Rumble get away? Arrow Hunter just waiting for his ability to come back up so he can dash. There it is right now. The knockup is secured, and first blood for University of Wisconsin River Falls.
Very well played by Arrow Hunter, and that's almost. I feel like we see that almost every single time when he teleports back after a first back. He might try and get an earlier first back before his laning opponent, but the second he's back, the laning opponent better be gone or ready to fight, because that's exactly what Arrow Hunter is going to bring.
Absolutely. Something that apparently McGill University did not consider is Arrow Hunters, and this is something you keep bringing up at the beginning that I also have to reiterate, is just the sheer aggressiveness of this player. Even if he's down CS and he has to take a bad back, if you're still in lane when he's back, he's going to use that advantage against you whether you like it or not. And, you know, Tort was just caught with his pants down at that point. I think he just popped a bad back in the bush. He probably should have pulled back a little farther. And like I said, first blood goes to River Falls. CS is still in the Rumble's favor right now, as the Galio did have to pop a back after the Jarvan did a little bit of poke to him. He didn't have flash, so he couldn't get away from all of that damage. But he was able to secure his life, and I guess that's the most important part of all.
Yeah, and of course, and with that offensive play by Arrow Hunter here, he has that extra MR from the cloak on his first back. So very, very easy just initial blocker from any Rumble damage, because he is primarily an AP fighter. That flamethrower is going to be not as effective against somebody building MR.
Absolutely. Now, as we're looking at the mid lane that we haven't discussed, his lot is
and Erie's going to get caught out.
Oh, no. It looks like Martin is actually going to go for a double gank from the top
tornado.
Earlier. Tornado comes through, is able to knock up the enemy support. Erie is down for another 8 seconds, but Enchanting is able to get away with that Valkyrie ability. Benefits of the Corki is that they can get away fast. Downside of the Corki, they can't peel for their support.
Yeah, that was a nice tornado by Erie, catching, I believe, all 3 of them in there, but it just wasn't enough. I believe that Jarvan flashed for that kill there. Both Jarvan and Jinx have their flashes on cooldown. So, you know, a 2 flash for 1 kill, not too bad. It looks like we're going to be taking Drake on the side of McGill. Fridgley is up, just taking his camps. He's staying ahead in CS, it looks like, of the Jarvan so far.
Yeah, it looks like Fridgley is actually going to be focusing on the full clear strategy right now as Zac. I guess he doesn't want to get into an engagement until he hits that level 6 and has the Zac ultimate. So hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of the Fridgley plays come to the mid game, but as of right now, very, very quiet on the map.
He's got that Bomby Cinder already, possibly going into Sunfire, and we're gonna see hopefully some more aggressive plays as he gets his way towards the bot side. And he has a very strong initiate with that E. So hopefully we'll see a nice E into lane onto the opponents and just knock them up, start CCing them, and tossing them out. So we've got some nice CS bonuses on the side of Corki, and well, I guess apart from the top lane, we've got CS leads on all sides on the side of River Falls, and this Rumble has just been poking them out on the top line here. And Erie is coming up for a gank. Pizza Boy looking to look for something. Just poke out any parts of damage that he can throw out there as the Gwen backs up, peels around, pulls up under turret. Arrow Hunter's going to look for a recall possibly as he pushes back this top lane. And Fridgley is going to get some sight in the bot side river here as he takes that scuttle. And really slow game so far. This is not typically what we see on the side of River Falls. But as I say that, we got 2 going in on the bot side. Erie with a nice knock-up. Enchanting with some nice damage on this Corki. And we'll just push in this wave, and it looks to be a pretty nicely crashed wave on the side of River Falls on the bot turret. Just not quite getting that first plating. I don't believe any platings have been caught on any side. Fridgley is here, going to drive out that Lulu, and they're going to have to be forced under turret even more so, and the bot prowl goes to River Falls as they look to punish them for taking that first Drake. So McGill is going to have that extra ability haste and cooldown, movement speed on their side with that Drake, but that does mean that Drake, the Cloud Drake, is not going to be our soul for the game here. Pizza Boy doing some great laning control over on this Gwen, which is what we love to see, as he has James has very much so applauded his play on this Hwei character. And we're seeing some nice, just aggressive, well, not maybe aggressive, but control on each lane on the side of mid and bottom for River Falls. As we push in the lane, Erie is maybe looking to let Enchanting take a back here. Pizza Boy looking to push up, do some extra damage on the Gwen. And we've got some almost tussles. We're we're looking for a tussle, it looks like, on all lanes, anytime. Anything could happen. Grubs did go to the side of McGill, I believe, as well, as we had to focus more on the Drake. McGill looking for a gank on the bot lane here. Enchanting is caught out, but looking like he's doing enough damage on the Lulu. Alted, self-ult on the Lulu. Jarvan is going to take the jump onto the to Janna, but then go for Enchanting. Janna ults, but doesn't quite have the range on attacking Enchanting here. Enchanting will fall, but not quite before taking out the Lulu. So a 2-for-1 on the side of McGill, as they're looking pretty strong in all these fights here. Galio looking to get away with his life. Arrow Hunter knows when to hit that taunt on. Ooh, he's looking back. Ooh, as he's running in, he's looking to tower dive this thing. Arrow Hunter says, "Nuh-uh, you are not going under my turret," and he will CC the Rumble under the turret as he is overheated, throwing out that flamethrower. Really ballsy move, running into a turret with flamethrower on as Rumble, and it did not pay off for him. He thought he could catch it out, but Galio with the Bomby Cinder, Galio with the Aftershock, he has the protection, he has some extra health, and he's going to sustain himself and get, especially with that Aftershock on the CC, that's just a very strong defensive move on the side of Arrow Hunter here. Eerie and Enchanting looking to punish out this Lulu, who putting a ward out in the river. And we'll see Jinx taking a nice back here. Jinx with the Kraken Slayer already, looking to build up probably Berserker's Greaves for the boots. Corki's got a Serrated Dirk and a pickaxe. We're still waiting to see what they're going to bring back to the table. Frigidly hovering the bot side a little bit here. Maybe we'll see a gank on the bot line. Arrow Hunter is coming into top lane from the river on top side as Rumble is pushing up the wave just a wee bit as Jarvan has falled back, so there's not going to be a chance for a gank here. Frigidly's going under turret here. He's looking for a CC. The flash comes out. He doesn't quite get both CCs. He pops the ult. Lulu pops the ult, and a kill will be secured on the side of River Falls. Frigidly with a great dodge of the scout arrow, and he's going to get away, and he's going to go right into Krugs and try and take his CS here in the jungle. Take out the Jarvan's. Anything of what the Jarvan could have hoped for a CS lead on Frigidly. He's doing a great job in the jungle here. Frigidly's mostly prioritizing the bot lane, but as that comes, your ADC will do a great job in the late game. So we're happy to see that. And Pizza Boy pushing out this Gwen. This damage is doing quite a lot. He's got the Luden's gun here, it looks like. I don't remember exactly what it's called. River Falls will have bot prio here with the recent kill. In the recent, it was a recent kill. Jinx is on a 200 gold bounty here, and going 3-0, and they're going to be taking out this Drake on the side of River Falls. Nicely secured, not hardly contested. Jarvan is looking to take out Krugs, or not Krugs, excuse me, the Void Grubs, and he will secure all 6 on the side of McGill. They're going to look really strong if they want to take this Rift Herald, take it to a lane, and their tower melting is going to be a lot more prominent than not. Fridley once again on the bot side. We'll see where he goes next. Arrow Hunter's got some damage up on the Rumble, hopefully keeping him out of the fray for a little bit here, as it looks like Rumble is going to be building some more burn. And, ooh, they get caught out. Fridley almost grabs him with his Q. Hui will land a astonishingly strong slam down on the Jarvan as Jarvan tries to get away, and he's going 0-1 here in the jungle. Enchanting he's getting real beat up here. The Janna does save him as he gets out. I believe the ult was popped on Jinx, and Frigidly is here. He's ready to fight. He's coming in. He's looking for something. He's gonna catch him. He grabs the Jinx just before he's able to land that CC. The Lulu ults the Jinx, knocking up Frigidly, and Frigidly's kind of caught out, but they don't really care. They're going after the support. Frigidly does have the support, or the passive coming in of his ultimate, and they're actually teleporting to it. I have never seen that. You can teleport to the Zac, but we've got everybody on bot side here on the side of River Falls as they're trying to protect their bot laners. Nobody more will fall. As the Jinx ult has been popped, they do not have to worry about a global here coming out on the side of the Crazed Rocket. And both bot laners will go pop a back on the side of River Falls as Arrow Hunter and Pizza Boy make their way up to their respective lanes. Popping out Gwen as Gwen is shredding this mid lane turret with barely one plate left. and Rumble is doing the same on the top side. It was a really strong play on the side of River Falls just to make sure that their ADC and their support will live, but does not come without a cost as their turrets are taking massive damage from this. Pizza Boy definitely making sure that he makes it known to Gwen that he is the master of the mid laner, or of the mid lane. And Gwen is just forced to fall back and be under the turret. And Arrow Hunter stands up looking for something maybe, or just waiting to push up the wave a little bit here. He dashes in, just barely misses it. He will get the taunt. He's going to lay in some damage on this Rumble as he says, "It is my time. I'm pushing you under your turret here." Ooh, the dash comes up. He's looking for something. He doesn't quite see the Jarvan coming up for him. He's got no dash available, but the taunt is up. He does get the flash out of the Jarvan ulti. There's the dash that comes out right into the equalizer. Unfortunately, Jarvan will grab the shutdown on that. All the shutdown goal will go to Jarvan. And Enchanting takes out Lulu on the bot side while we were fighting. Frigidly looking for a tower dive here. He grabs the Jinx, but not quite looking for anything past that. Would be wise just to get out, but they are looking for a crash down and hopefully a tower secure. Frigidly's going back in. The knock-up does hit, and that's a clean sweep on the side for Corki. Corki looking out 3 kills here as he's got Collector. Very strong here. Ooh, we got Pizza Boy fighting for this Rift Herald on the Jarvan. Jarvan is trying to just secure, make sure that they have the tower destroying ability on the side of McGill to make up for all of these dropped kills. Gold lead, despite River Falls being up by 3 kills here, gold lead is pretty much non-existent as River Falls has only taken out 1 objective, whereas McGill has taken out 1 Drake, 2 Grubs, and just now secured their very first Rift Herald, so they'll be taking out likely a second turret as the top turret has fallen on the side of River Falls. So we'll see where they can push this. Maybe they'll want to try and push through mid lane and then pop it because it does seem to be a little bit low. Eerie clearing out some vision with the sweeper, getting up some vision of his own. And rotating back to the mid lane. And Arrow Hunter also rotating down to mid lane. We're going to maybe see a fight here onto this Gwen as they try to kill something. I guess laning phase is over. It's 16 minutes. We're trying to secure something apart from turrets. Or we're trying to secure more kills and try to just get everything that we can off the board for McGill. Try to wipe the slate clean and say, yeah, you might have gotten objectives early game, but we're just going to wipe the floor with you in the late game. So they're trying to get a strong mid lane going out here. Enchanting with the shielding. Eerie's in the front line getting the tornadoes down. He's knocking them up. He's knocking them out of the way. He says, yeah, we're fighting here. we're primed up for fighting stance. This Frizzly is raring up to jump over this wall. He's got the vision knocked out, and he's waiting. He's looking. They're looking to go in. The Drake comes up, so maybe they'll bait out a fight here for this Drake before they go in. Arrow Hunter charging in, doesn't grab the taunt on anybody. Equalizer comes out, doesn't quite catch anybody. Eerie falling under half HP here, popping the ult possible option here. Enchanting going out on this Gwen, almost picks up the kill. Ooh, and the Rumble will fall to Enchanting. Very nice play on the side of River Falls so far. Looking good, looking great. The Rift Herald is popped. Nobody's over there to taxi it down, but it will get a hit on this turret, it looks like, and the mid turret will fall down. Enchanting just barely falling. The Galio will pick up the secured CC, and Enchanting will get a triple and secure this ace, and it looks like they are primed to push in the mid lane and push onto this Drake as River Falls frigidly getting this second Drake secured for them as Eerie and Pizza Boy will grab the mid turret, popping them huge backs on the side of River Falls as they've got a couple of bounties on their heads and grabbing some first and second items. Big MR on the side of Arrow Hunter here. He's looking to make this Rumble dang near unusable. Red team secured the Infernal Drake. So the Infernal Drake, we're getting an Infernal Soul. We're going to see a lot more AP damage and a lot more AD damage and a lot more AoE just on the side of River Falls if they do decide to go full out just like they did on that first Drake for the next 2 to try and get this Soul. And even turrets, I believe, taken out on either side. River Falls has got 2 and McGill's got 2. We've got a couple of tussles here. We've got 3-on-3 on the mid lane as Frigidly is more or less, he doesn't know it quite yet, but he's been spotted by that ward. And Arrow Hunter was stanced up on the Rumble, trying to push in his turret Rumble is pushing him back. He says, "No, this is my lane. Keep out of it. Keep to your own self." Arrow Hunter will be here, and he's going to try and get out what he can, or just keep the Rumble at bay. Ooh, he's ready for a fight. The taunt comes out. Huge gust of wave. Gust of air comes down, and we're going to get a 4v1 on the bot side as Gwen will just fall to the enchanting as he's got no support, getting caught out from a bush attack. Galio getting out as he sees the jungler coming into him. Ooh, Fridgley looking a little bit aggressive here as they try to secure this next bot turret. He's going to push them back so they are not able to destroy those minions that are aggro in the turret. River Falls will take another turret on the bot side as they're pushing up to the inhib turret. Arrow Hunter looking for something. He grabs one. He grabs two. He was running away earlier. He's going to run into them this time. Rumble looking a little bit low, but the Jarvan pops out. Cataclysm. Arrow Hunter will flash out. The Equalizer comes out, but he doesn't quite catch the track of the Galio as Galio is running out, and they'll just give it up. Excellent play here by Arrow Hunter. The flash does get burned. Global ultimate still available on this Galio, and a burned ultimate on the side of McGill as they just weren't able to fully catch out this Galio. We're going to focus up on this Rumble. What up, Rumble? He's getting that overheat stacks charged up. And Gwen is trying to push back these minions on bot lane. We got Enchanting and Eerie trying to push back these minions on top lane. We're trying to finish out this top turret. It's got a decent amount of health still left up. We're warding out on the side of River Falls in the jungle. We got a lot of red vision here, which is good to see. We'd love to see it. Love to see as much of the jungle as we possibly can. Rumble coming out and clearing out. Ooh, we're gonna catch this mage minion. Excuse me. As Pizza Boy coming in with the teleport, and we've got a fight here. It's a 4v3 coming in on the side of River Falls. Enchanting, able to secure all these kills, possibly thanks to this Collector here. The Collector and Infinity Edge are very strong, and River Falls is looking for a very, 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 very early Baron. We're 20 minutes in, just about 21 minutes in, and they have relatively an uncontested Baron take. As the side of McGill has lost their jungler, and River Falls has decided, yep, this is what we're going to do. We're going to lead out strong with this Baron take, and they will secure it. We're going to pop a few backs. Fridgley is going to look to push out this mid wave with Pizza Boy. Going to catch out a couple of vision wards here, and we're going to split push on the side of River Falls and try and secure some secure some turrets. Excuse me. Gwen recognizes River Falls and will stand back. McGill trying to just recover from the whiplash that they just received on the side of River Falls. From the side of River Falls. Just got to secure some money here, secure some CC. CC leads still looking good on the side of River Falls, except for the top lane, which, Rumble can't really blame him. He's just kind of a CS taken wizard with the spikes and with the flamethrowers in general. But I believe we've got global buffs up now. So we got global red and blue buffs on the side of River Falls. We got global blue buffs on the side of McGill. And we got a 3v3 pushing up for this bot turret. And River Falls maybe stancing back as they said, yep, you guys can defend this. We'll go push another lane. Or we're pushing up this next second wave. We might see a fight here. We got a little bit of prep work going on. As we're throwing out as long-range CC abilities and just damaging abilities as we can. River Falls rotating to the mid lane, met by McGill, also rotating over to the mid lane. Arrow Hunter getting the demolish off. This mid turret will fall very shortly. And they're going to back up. Looks like they're setting up for Drake as Drake is up in just a couple of seconds. 30 seconds, about 25 seconds left on the clock for this Drake. As they're going to try and force out a fight from McGill, and this could make or break the game for McGill. If I were McGill, I would be wanting to look for a full-on fight here. So we'll see the dragon being lured out of the pit by Fridgley. Fridgley's going in. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is around the bot side of this Drake pit. The Jinx rocket will come in. They catch a couple of them, but they just have no response to this overpowering UWRF mid-game play. River Falls, I don't think... Now, I have not been casting as many River Falls League of Legends games as I would love to say I have, but I have not seen a Baron take this gosh darn early. And we've got 3 Drakes. If they did secure the first Drake, which, not too bad that they didn't at this point because they've been taking so many other objectives. If they'd taken that first Drake, they'd have Soul by now, uncontested Soul, to make a clean. Oh my gosh, and a nice double kill basically coming out from Pizza Boy. The Collector coming in on the side of the Corki, giving the Corki his 10th kill of the game. Enchanting looking really strong on this bot lane with this Corki as River Falls is just pushing up and putting the pressure on the mid lane turret. They're trying to grab this inhib turret. Arrow Hunter will just barely get off the demolish, I believe, and this inhib will fall, and McGill is just, they're caught with their pants between their legs as they're trying to make ends meet and make a scene, make anything look like they have a defense here. River Falls popping a back as they said, yeah, our Baron buff is gone. I suppose we'll back out. It's about time. Arrow Hunter taking out the Raptors and the rest of the team taking out the rest of the blue side possibly. Jarvan is trying to catch up to Frigidly on just the powering abilities he's got here. All right, Arrow Hunter with a big back here. We'll see hopefully his second item. Zach's got a big second item with that Spirit Visage, and the Sunfire Cape is a nice complementary. I would love to see another health item under Warmogs, but it looks like we got 2 cloth armor coming in. And it looks like Enchanting is just pushing out the Rumble. Rumble had no response. I believe the Flash did come out on the side of Rumble, but Corki's just, his medium amount of range is just too much for this Rumble as he can't quite run away. And Jarvan possibly, going to look to support his Gwen on the bot lane as Arrow Hunter looks like a demon pushing down this bot lane. As Gwen decides, yeah, it'd be better if I just leave. I don't want to get caught out again, so they'll just back up here as River Falls finally takes that top turret. Excuse me. We got 4 River Falls pushing up on the top side. The second turret will fall a lot easier than the first turret did as McGill pushes 3 people up and a 4th one coming up with the Rumble as to contest this River Falls. Frigidly comes bouncing in right into the fray, not looking for something quite yet as they say, yeah, we'll just back out of this one for now. Let this be a lesson to ye. Old man yells at Cloud. Ooh, River Falls still putting a lot of attention on the top lane here as we've got no objectives coming up apart from these turrets. The Baron has got at least a minute, I believe, maybe about 30, a little bit more than 30 seconds, I believe. This Drake's Soul is not going to be up for a while. Frigidly jumping under turret. He definitely does like in those turret jumps, and that Spirit Visage is definitely going to help him out. Teleport comes in River Falls. He's looking very strong towards the end of this game here. Lulu will fall to Enchanting as Enchanting lands yet another powerful strike. As they're putting out this top turret. And River Falls is going to jump in. The Jinx will fall first. A great pick on the ADC. Galio will ult just a little bit back, give his team a little bit of a magic ability, magic shield. And they're going to secure the second inhib turret and push under towards the Nexus. They don't even need to get the inhib turret. They'll take that second Nexus turret, and this will close it out on the side of River Falls. Very strong game.
McGill University thinking that they were going to run over River Falls coming into the game with a draft like that. Meanwhile, it's a no passing zone.
It has been.
Because River Falls slashes the tires and takes McGill University out 22-4. Game number 1 goes to River Falls.
Very strong early game by the side of McGill. They took both grubs, and then they took the Rift Herald. And then at the 20-minute mark, River Falls takes out their jungler, takes the Baron at 20 minutes, or just about 20 minutes. And from that point on, it was gone. They had 3 Drakes under their belt, and they were looking to end this game.
Luring McGill University into a false sense of security for the first 20 minutes. Then they get a Baron, and the whole game gets busted wide open. An incredible turnaround from River Falls. Congrats to them for the first game. And now we're going to run in. I believe this is a best of 3. So if the next one gets secured by River Falls, it will be a game, set, match. If the next one gets controlled by McGill University and they end up having a counter swing, it's 1-1, and we get some more League of Legends to watch today. However, still, great league to watch. That's what I'm a fan of. I understand that right now the boys are in there talking up. I'm sure McGill University is the exact same right now, trying to figure out their next game plan. And I think there's definitely a lot of things that both teams can cement out, and I think there's a lot of things that both teams need to figure out from the other side and how to counteract it.
This is going to lead for a very interesting draft on game 2. These picks and bans might get a little bit of different focus. McGill maybe trying to, I don't know, ban the Galio, as the Galio has been a great pick for Arrow Hunter despite everything that we expected to see at the very beginning. Maybe looking out to ban this Hui, but maybe even looking out to ban this Corki, because Corki
15-1-3.
15-1.
Unbelievable getting after that 20-minute mark. It was crazy. But like you said, even the 2-1-10 Galio put in a lot for River Falls. Anyway, we're going to be taking a short break, but don't go anywhere because we have more League of Legends coming up next. Are you serious? Oh, rats. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have UWRF versus McGill University, game number 2. We talked a whole bunch of nonsense about the draft, and we're going to do it again right here because of some technical difficulties with the microphone. We're going to start off just from the top down. The game definitely realized that we were muted, or otherwise why would there be a pause?
Of course. We got a whole 30 minutes to talk about this draft.
It's not because somebody left the game or anything. It's just because they realized they need our awesome commentary. So let's go back to Darius and Set right now. So we were talking about the micro. We were talking about, the spacing that Darius needs to understand. We understand that the Set needs to understand the auto attack cancels with the Qs. So how do you think that's going to go into the late game? Because the early game, you could say they're just going to be boxing. They're just going to be laning. They're going to be focusing on their own thing. They might rotate here and there. But once we start getting into the Baron fights or like those fights down mid, which one do you think is going to be the more useful one?
I can unconfidently say that I don't think we're going to see a kill very early on. Now, our Hunter has proved us wrong very many times. But I think Darius is going to be. I think Darius might be roaming from an early stage, especially if it's a melee Gwen. If they notice that Gwen is pushing up on the mid lane onto Pizza Boy, I think that we could see an Arrow Hunter gank onto the mid lane. And that Gwen does not have flash. Gwen is running Ghost and Teleport. Gwen, if they get caught a little bit too aggressive, Darius, Arrow Hunter, or Fridgley both can just run into lane, say, "Hey, look, I got your toes. Come here," and then just pull the feet out from underneath the Gwen and just send her back to the fountain.
One of those little what are they, tablecloth tricks where they rip it out and the pot is still standing. But in this instance, the Gwen would probably be shattered at that point. And now I have to agree with you. Now I really want to focus, though, on the jungler because that was a good segue into it, is that Fridgley's gank potential on the Skarner, we've seen him on this champion before, especially last weekend. He's very good at understanding the pathing of jungle. He's very comfortable now into getting, because this is a new role for him. He used to be the ADC of the team, and now he's gone into jungle, which is a completely different role. You got to understand, it's a different kind of map awareness, right? But I think he's doing really good with the rotation. One thing that I want to see from Fridgley, I don't know too much about Malice. I'm sure he's going to be a great Zed player, but one thing I want to see from Fridgley, especially going through those walls, is the gank potential for pushed up lanes. If bottom lane, we talked about this a little bit when we were muted, was the Sivir can kind of pick and choose which lanes are going to be pushed in on them and which lanes are going to be pushed out of them. So as long as Ridley can see the map and Fridgley can see that maybe the mid lane's getting pushed in a little bit too much, that's opportunity for Skarner to go prime right there, especially at level 6 with the suppression. The suppression can pretty much counter their entire team. No ultimate can get through that, right? If it can pull a Yone out of an ultimate, I'm pretty sure it can pull out a Gwen.
Yeah. This is going to be. I think River Falls has a lot of offensive, defensive potential, and I think that McGill is opting for a lot of defensive potential. So I think River Falls is not going to really be caught out on the defensive side. I don't think River Falls is going to be pushed up on much during this game. I think McGill has opted for the Seraphine because they saw a lot of their team just losing health bars too rapidly, and they're opting for the Seraphine to have the healing, the shielding, and just, I don't know, trying to get away. We're probably going to see a redemption on the Seraphine as a maybe a third or maybe even a second item. But I think this is very interesting to see the Zed pick in the jungle. I don't think I've seen a Zed in the jungle. I'll be interested to see how this goes, especially versus a Skarner. Can't really assassinate a Skarner. Can't really assassinate a Darius too well. If they do catch up on this Vex, possibly a good hit there for the Zed. But definitely a challenging time on the bot lane with Eerie on the Lux. Eerie's got those strong Qs, those strong Es in the slowing field, and Sivir has a nice shield that no longer grants mana, but grants health and negates that attack if they time that just right. So I'm sure Enchanting can do that given their status. But I think they're going to be sitting really well on the bot line.
Absolutely, and this DC, we're giving things underway, as we can see from the chat. The game crashed for the top laner on the side of McGill University. Somebody said that he went out for milk, and I can assure you he already came back with the milk and my child-friendly, non-nicotine having tobacco cigarettes. But don't worry, we're going to be getting these things underway very shortly here. However, the thing that you touched on that I really want to talk about right now is the mid lane matchup as opposed to jungle, right? So we don't know how Zed's going to approach it. He could get a good little gank onto Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy with the Vex pick right now. It's kind of hard because Pizza's really good, if you've watched him enough with his Vex pick, is really good at peeling himself. He knows how to save his flash. He understands when he needs to use the fear to get all of these off of him. And while Zed can be mobile, he's still a melee champion at heart. So it's not something like a Kindred where he can run over the wall and then dive you under tower and still be relatively safe, only taking one tower shot. He's got to kind of get in his face. So rotating into, I guess, the mid aspect of the conversation is, we brought this up, Jagged Pantheon going for the Gwen again, opting for a melee pick into a ranged pick yet again, and again onto one of Pizza Boy's more familiar champions. I think that this is going to be a tough start for Jagged Pantheon. Like you said, there is no flash. It was just the Ghost. So if Ghost is burned, very, very susceptible to the Frigidly dives. If that Skarner gets a hold of him, that Gwen is going to be toast. And as well as just the CSing aspect of it. In the laning phase, Jagged Pantheon struggled against the Hui, and I think it's going to be the exact same story now with the Vex. So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I agree completely. I think I'm very interested in seeing Jagged Pantheon with the confidence to pick the Gwen again, because they didn't seem to have the confidence in the first game. So if you got pushed back that bad by an enchanting ranged mid laner, you'd probably want to focus your pick on something maybe a little bit more defensive, or maybe even a ranged matchup. But I guess if they're confident to see the Gwen, we'll be interested in eating our words at the later times or at the mid game. But I don't know with this Gwen. I mean, Pizza Boy looked really strong in game 1. Pizza Boy's gonna look really strong in game 2. So they're gonna pretty much have to look for a pick on the mid lane with a gank by the Zed.
Yeah, and opportunity favors the bold. I'm pretty sure that's what Matt Damon said, right? And not regarding crypto, but more into the League of Legends aspect, opportunity is all McGill University is going to have. They're going to have to be very opportunistic on the ganks and the pushes that they have right now, because the amount of peel and the amount of, I guess rather, escape potential on the side of River Falls is just immense. And you touched on it as well, if we want to start talking about the bottom lane, is that Korean picked the Seraphine pick, a little bit more of a healing champ than the Lulu. I don't want to say more of a support, but definitely more of sustain-based support. So going into that aspect, I think that it's less of chasing down River Falls this time around, not having like the Rumble and all of those characters. I guess the Gwen is still here, but the point still stands. It's more of just keeping the sustain and being able to play on the back foot. I think that's what McGill University is drafting right now. I think it's them being able to, okay, let's just wait and scale, take the opportunistic fights we can, maybe trade the map. If they go for Drake, maybe we can get a few grubs, maybe we can push in the top turret, things like that. So the bottom lane right now, it's interesting that they have that kind of mentality, because that's exactly what is portrayed on the bot and the support picks. Enchanting, a very, very talented player, very new to the role of ADC, at least for the 5-on-5 play in collegiate leagues, picks onto the Sivir, which is not an easy character to play, but it's very easy to push in the lane. So on top of the Lux with something that we pointed out earlier, Dark Harvest, it's going to be a hyper-aggressive comp in the bottom lane, and I think that's why McGill University is pivoting towards this back foot play style.
Well said, well said. I think the Sivir is going to be a lot more aggressive onto the Ezreal and onto the Seraphine than previously thought. I don't know. I've got nothing else to say on the bot side. I'm looking and I'm ready to see Sivir just throwing out the big boomerangs and not being able to be really matched. Because if they want to take out this bot lane and push out the bot lane minions to the bot lane turret on the side of McGill, they can absolutely do that. Ezreal is, like, apart from his ultimate, he has no AoE. Sivir can have as much AoE as she wants, and she can send in those extra boomerangs that kind of just bounce between a bunch of minions and can even bounce between the Seraphine and the Ezreal. So, and especially with the Lux having the AoE there, that's gonna be a lot to have to attack.
Yeah, I think it's also the Lux with the lockdown right now, especially for any ADC for that matter. If the Lux can get you with, I believe it's the W ability that is the root. Or is it
W
the E?
is the barrier.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
yes.
the Q is the stun. It'll hit the first two things, and then the E is the big AoE slow, and then she can trigger it at any point.
The point is the Dark Harvest is going to be working overtime right now in the bot lane, and McGill University needs to be careful. They need to be on their toes for this. Like you said, there's not a lot to talk about other than the speculative draft, because we're going right back into the game, and everyone's still level 1. We have nothing on the board to report on because the game hasn't started yet. Until now. We're getting right back into it. No invades as it looks of yet, but that could always change, especially at the level 2 mark. Who knows if they want to make a sly little rotate over. But it seems like it's just going to be standard laning for now.
So far, so good, potentially. We're a little bit frozen on our replay here.
All good. That just means that you get to listen and look at us a little bit longer, and, we get to keep you company outside of the league space. Just kidding. We're back into it again. And the laning phase has officially started now. Now we can start talking a little bit more about the early game for these teams and who you think is going to feast and who is going to famine.
Got a lot of CS trades here, and Eerie is going to be poking out the Seraphine. We're going to have the typical Lux experience when you're either playing Lux or playing against Lux as the bot lane. She's going to poke you, and you're going to have to just fight back, and that's the only option that you've got.
Absolutely, and Eerie being one of those very hyper-aggressive support players, as he's well known for. Pizza Boy doing his best to CS. Like we said, that was his biggest Achilles heel, so as long as he can maintain that throughout the game on this Jagged Pantheon with the Gwen pick, I think he'll be sitting pretty in the mid lane. Getting pushed in a little bit. Arrow Hunter doing Darius things, Even as powerful as Set is as a boxer and a bruiser, Darius with just so much healing and so much of that bleed, it's going to be hard to get through him, especially now that he's level 2 to 1. A lot of people don't think that that's a bigger gap than it is, but once you hit that first level 2 mark, you can start hitting your enemy down to less than half health, and then they're screwed for the entire rest of the CSing phase until they get that first back, So right. I think Arrow Hunter's already playing it well. It's very hard to, tell these pinpoint things this early in the game. However, it's still very important to point out that Arrow Hunter is still 14 CS while Set is only 4. On.
As I said, I don't remember if I was muted at this point or not, but seeing Arrow Hunter versus the Set, Darius versus the Set in general is, I think, a very defensive play, especially for the first part of the game. I was not expecting a kill for the early game. Maybe even towards the mid game, I was guessing that we'd see a roam by Arrow Hunter towards the mid lane, because we did see Pizza Boy getting pushed back, and Pizza Boy is getting ganked by the Zed. Despite that, we care more about Arrow Hunter tussling this Set under the turret, and Pizza Boy's going to be fine. I mean, what's the Zed going to do? What's the Gwen going to do? He's looking super, super confident on this play. But anyway, as I was talking about this Gwen, we're catching Fridley really early on. Fridley, get out of there, buddy. The Electrocute comes out. First Blood Bolt, you know what? We'll give it to the Seraphine. Chalk it up to ain't too bad on the side of River Falls. But the Gwen early on was pushed up to Pizza Boy. I mean, granted, it was level 1, level 2, but a big stun here by Eerie, and that's going to be a lot of damage out on the side of River Falls, and they're going to push these two folks back. Seraphine, you can't do anything with that double buff. What are you going to do? Get out of here. Enchanting looking really strong. A nice barrier coming out from Eerie, and they're going to poke this Enchanting with the sideways flash. They're going to get hooked out by this turret, and that's just an unfortunate pick. Eerie going to push up, maybe trying to get a stun on. Ooh, they're going to choose the Seraphine. You know what? Not too bad. They're going to grab that double buff for themselves. It's going to go back to the side of River Falls. And Eerie's going to maybe push up onto this Ezreal as they're trying to get out of here.
Two tragedies side by side for River Falls. Frigidly getting caught in the bottom river. I don't know if that was just a miscommunication or what. Smite is actually going to try and keep going on to Eerie. Eerie gets that shield from his W ability, but it doesn't matter because the Q lands from the Ezreal. 1-3 for River Falls on McGill University. McGill University is sitting pretty. The only issue here is that River Falls, they could have accepted these mistakes. They could have kept going on. They could have kept with those lane pressures, even though they had a kill here and there, or rather a death here and there. But
Ezreal's bicycle kick just barely saves them.
They did, but they want to keep pushing. River Falls is this hyper-aggressive playstyle where one death isn't enough. We'd rather sacrifice the entire enemy team if it nets us at least a kill, because they know McGill University might scale, but if we can get a little bit more gold in our pockets and we can hit that first item at the exact same time, even if they have less CS, it's still worth it because we're going to be stronger in the mid game.
Seeing how aggressive Eerie and Enchanting have been so far on the bot side, I'm very surprised, especially with the Lux pick, that Enchanting opted to go with the Lethal Tempo instead of the Dark Harvest. I do know that notoriously, or more statistically, I should say, Sivir does pick Dark Harvest. They do a lot of damage early game, especially with the Lux. There's a lot of damage coming in from both sides, and they're able to pressure this lane. Even when they're under turret, they can't do anything to push back because they lay on the damage, they lay on the CC, and there's just a gap there that could be filled even more if they had Enchanted, or if Enchanting would have opted for Dark Harvest.
The set ultimate flash and... Oh my goodness, the W flash ultimate is not enough for the set player, as Arrow Hunter just has to hit one button, and that is enough to execute.
Ooh, the Seraphine will just
Korean
barely
get away
with
with
their
health.
life. I believe the healing pot was just popped, and just one or two ticks too many, and River Falls was just quite not able to secure that kill. But Sivir, with that really large boomerang, likely popping skill points onto that Q for early levels and early damage, was just not enough to do enough damage to finish off the Seraphine.
Yeah, solo kill on top side and a tragedy for McGill University on the bot side, as their tempo is completely screwed up now because Seraphine had to take a bad back, and that might be just free dragon for River Falls.
It does look that way. Seraphine's got both of the kills, well, 2 out of the 3 kills, and Arrow Hunter looks like he may be caught off by this set here, but we don't really think that's going to do too much. His set is substantially more HP than Arrow Hunter here, and he's going to be the one backing off. River Falls will secure the first Chemtech Drakes. Enchanting is, we're going to plead the innocent, and they're going to run away. It's the little rabbit is Eerie, and Frugely opting to go below just to prevent a tower dive onto Enchanting here.
Yeah, but he might be hovering a little bit too long here. He's losing a lot of tempo in his jungle. He could be invading Krugs right now, or be going for his blue buff that's about to be up, or maybe even popping it back, but instead he's hanging out in the bottom lane, just wants to push in this minion wave, which, again, Korean and Smite, they have good wave clear, at least relatively at this point in the game, so I don't know why he's hanging around for this long. He could have gotten for a Krug invade a little bit earlier, but I suppose that just comes with the territory of learning jungle. And meanwhile, Zed is going up for a top gank, but it doesn't matter because Arrow Hunter's out of mana, and that means he's out of there, out of the lane. Oh, maybe. He looks like he might be catching this wave right now. Destor just trying to slow push it in right now to Arrow Hunter, but Arrow Hunter is smart enough to not give anything that isn't deserved. Pulls him into the tower. 2 tower shots go on to Destor, but it does not matter. The W is still up for the set player. That means that he will get extra shield dependent on the amount of damage he takes. It all depends on how Arrow Hunter wants to approach him after the W has been expended. That is when Set is at his most vulnerable.
That's a really good slap on the wrist on the side of Arrow Hunter. It says, "You're too close to my turret, get out of here." So he'll pull him in and grab 2 turret shots for free, and the Set is going to just have to deal with it. He looks fine now with that regen that he has.
Oh, interesting. Jagged Pantheon just wanting to use the ultimate for a small chunk on a Pizza Boy, but I think Pizza Boy is going to be happy with that. He still has that health pot in his pocket, and he's still pushing in the wave despite being down CS.
There's a lot of push-up on Vision on the side of McGill here on the bot side. A nice ulti comes out by Eerie, and Enchanting looking to get some boomerangs in here and pushing up on the Seraphine. We're looking real aggressive here, guys.
And that's what happens when the Lynx hits level 6 before the Seraphine does. And they might go
The
in for a tower dive right now.
just barely be enough.
Goes down to 1 health, and Eerie takes the kill, which, you know, with Dark Harvest, it's not the worst thing having a kill on your Lux, but I'm surprised they didn't give that one to Sivir. Now Smite might be in trouble, too.
Enchanting doesn't quite have enough mana for another Q here, so Smite will get away just barely. Thank the gods, speaking of Smite. That your Enchanting just didn't have enough mana.
True, but Smite also does no mana, so there's no phase shift and there's no Qs available for Smite.
Set trying to give Arrow Hunter just a little bit of taste of his own medicine here. I'll put you under my turret. Arrow Hunter says, nah, miss me with that, and he hits the turret. He gets his demolish off. He says, thanks. Okay, I'll leave.
And that just goes to show the difference in the level between these two players. No disrespect on Destor, but Arrow Hunter has just seen this matchup one too many times. Waiting for the Set ultimate. Let's see if the W comes out. It does, but Arrow Hunter sidesteps it, and this is where Set is at its most vulnerable. I'm surprised Arrow Hunter doesn't want to go in right now with the ultimate.
Ghost,
he does, it flashes Ghost into the ultimate, execute, and that's why they pay him the big bucks.
I was guessing that he was looking for the cut down with that ultimate on Arrow Hunter here, but he didn't even matter. He just used his W. That's enough damage for him. He's got phage and steel caps. You know, he's cooking good right now.
And it's a mistimed W on the side of Set, and that's something that you only get if you've played this matchup before. Arrow Hunter showing his absolute can of whoop butt coming out on the top lane right now. He is expected this matchup. He is trained against this matchup. He understands when the Set is at its most vulnerable, when he needs to sidestep it, and the spacing. I can't stress that enough. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Eerie gets chunked down to half. So, you know, before I start complimenting UWRF too much, let's see if that pays off for him.
Ezreal going to be popping an ulti. Looks to just do nothing as Enchanting pops out.
Ooh!
Caught over the wall as Eerie was trying to get some vision up, and maybe, I don't really know, looking for a route over the wall or something. Enchanting is looking to, I don't know, be in the same spot that Eerie died and say, ooh.
I think it's just lack of vision clear from the side of River Falls. I don't think that Eerie knew that Korean had the shot over the wall there and had vision on him with that ward in the pixel bush. But regardless, you got to respect the Seraphine damage. Even when it's Seraphine support, it's 3 and 2. This girl can pump some damage if she wants to, and that's exactly what happened.
Given that range and given that
Pizza Boy going in for a gank out of the bottom lane. Korean Woman gets hit by the Vex ult. Is it going to be enough to get away? No, it isn't. Korean Woman just absolutely gets diced up from the Vex, but meanwhile, Jagged Pantheon is going to collect some plates in mid. Let's see if this is worth it. Can Enchanting get a few plates back? Frigidly is going to hover to see if he can go in for a little bit of a gank on the bottom
he's spotted
side.
By the ward.
He is, so it doesn't look like there's going to be a tower dive yet. He's not going to be able to E through the wall, and he might just continue to go in for a jungle raid. No, he might go for a gank right now.
Arrow Hunter's tussling.
And then Arrow Hunter, you know, we've sung his praises before. We already understand how the story ends. There's the ultimate, there's the W. And now we just wait for the execute. Oh, the execute actually doesn't land quite. He looks like he's waiting for the bleed to take him out. And now he's just toying with his food like a lion and a mouse. Arrow Hunter, 3-0 with a 200 gold bounty in the top side.
As I said, I've been proven wrong before by Arrow Hunter, as he's got 3 out of the 6 kills for River Falls, and we're not even at 13 minutes. This guy is just too aggressive, not even for his own good, because he's doing great as usual.
Absolutely, and this is good for the team, as you can see. Because he has so much presence and domination in the top lane, they were able to get free grubs, as well as a free Hextech Drake. 2 Drakes on the board for River Falls. You got to be sweating if you're
we're
McGill.
going to see some combat here. Eerie's coming in. Frigidly is trying to catch somebody, doesn't quite get anybody, throws a rock out just too far. As Korean Woman and Smite 1 is better are just going to back to their turret. But we've got another tussle. Zed is coming back, and he's going to flash in onto Frigidly. Frigidly is going to ult. Frigidly is just a big rock man, so he lives for enough time, just enough time almost, as Zed makes a very, very needed escape. But
Enchanting
he's going back in.
Might be in trouble right now. The flash comes out for Martin, blinks forward with his ability, but the Zed
is
not able to do enough damage, and now Pizza Boy is here. The cavalry has arrived. Martin brought down to 1 health. Korean falls, the first one to fall. The bush is not going to be able to be a safe refuge for Smite, as all 3 members in the bottom lane for McGill University fall to the mid laner of River Falls. Great gank by Pizza Boy. He does lose a little bit of tempo in the mid lane, but a tragedy for McGill University.
They thought it was a great take. They really thought they almost got away with it. The Zed was coming in. The Zed grabbed Frigidly and said, nah, we're winning this fight. point, it's basically a 3v1 as Enchanting and Eerie were just too far south. And Pizza Boy with the incredible roam, he was a little bit too late to save his jungler, but he was definitely on time to kill the rest of everybody that was there on the side of McGill.
Yep, first turret gold does go to the Gwen, which is something that you don't really want to see. However, in a matchup like Vex, I think it's probably best case scenario for River Falls right now. You know, the Vex, even when playing from behind, getting a first tower, they can still play well into the Gwen if need be. And I think that gank on the bottom lane is just what you want in this. Because if Gwen is able to get ahead, that's fine. It sucks, but it's fine. Because if Enchanting and Eerie can get ahead, the whole game's won at that point. You know, the Gwen isn't going to be able to do much as long as the bottom lane is thriving.
Arrow Hunter sees a prey, taking down his ward. My ward.
And Arrow Hunter really does play these matchups like an angry chihuahua, and the entire side of McGill University is trying to take out Arrow Hunter, but they're very scared because Frigely is hovering in the top river, and he actually is rotating into the mid right now. Seraphine is going to be there to give Jagged some support, but he is getting chunked up, and the Enchanting not able to do enough damage after Eerie's ult. Eerie does pop that. Now this the ult for the Lux is going to be down, but he does have to pop a very, very poor back. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Destorrid is trying to hit a W and a pull, and successfully does it on Arrow Hunter, but it doesn't matter because Arrow Hunter just hits his R button.
Oh my god, and the second turret shot is just barely enough. He almost gets out of it.
He was trying to style on him, but at what cost? Because now that bounty went straight into the set's pockets. That could be bad going forward right now. However, I think Arrow Hunter plays with enough confidence. He's not too worried.
He's looking really good right now, and the only, I mean, you could take a plus out of that is that Arrow Hunter's bounty does not get more. It does not get higher. So we've lost a bot turret on the side of McGill on the bot side, and we've lost a mid turret. And Pizza Boy is looking for something. He's got 3 folks just hovering down there. And River Falls, the rest of them are up taking Rift Herald.
They are. Now, Rift Herald isn't as powerful when you don't have many grubs. McGill was able to score 5 of these 6 grubs onto their side. But honestly, if you're River Falls, you'll take the 2 Drakes and a Rift Herald over that any day.
Definitely, definitely. We're looking pretty good. The gold difference is only 1K, which is not substantial, but McGill they're still in this, despite what we may think. Top turret is almost going to fall here, as they're going to look like try to give all that gold, or most of it at least, to Enchanting. Or not. Eerie's going to take it. It don't
Goes
matter.
to Eerie instead.
Set's waiting in a bush. He says, ooh, maybe I'll get an ADC for me. He pokes his head out. Enchanting sees him, and that's just unfortunate
This might be a tower dive right now. The W is up for Destorrid, but Eerie and Enchanting just have so much burst damage. It might be too much. Ezreal comes through trying to just clear out the wave, helping out his top laner, as the rest of McGill University might start trying to gank into the top. No, they're starting to rotate down into mid. Eerie using that ultimate just to poke down the set even more, forcing to use his W to get that extra shield. And top turret does go in the side of River Falls. They have control over the entire map. They're just playing in the red jungle at this point.
Eerie has 4 stacks on Mejja's ring right now. He says this isn't good enough for me. I don't want to be a support. I want to go back to playing mid lane. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Enchanting is running under this turret. He's going to take a couple of shots. Smite 1 is better. Ezreal's looking for a hit. He's almost going to get it. Eerie says, no, look at me, look at me. Frigely's coming in over the wall. He's going to find the set. He doesn't care about he maybe cares about the set. He's going to get that Artsteel stack. His set slams him down. Ezreal will catch out Enchanting, and Eerie will also fall. Frigely picks up the kill on the set, and he's not going to be able to get away as this Ezreal is just looking at him, and he's just got range. Unfortunately, Frigely was looking for that rock instead, but he didn't quite pick it up in time. And Smite 1 is going to pick up a couple of kills here.
Yeah, 3-1 trade for McGill University. You'll absolutely take that if you're them. And a weird mess up from River Falls. Pizza Boy going in for a little bit of a skirmish right now against Jagged Pantheon as well. Almost actually losing on the side of it. Goes within melee range. I'm surprised he didn't want to use the fear right there. Not sure why he's holding on to it. But absolute, tragedy right now for River Falls. They're losing a lot of tempo onto the map, and they're losing a lot of bodies.
McGill is turning this around as they're going to take this 3rd Drake for themselves. They're not going to go without nothing, and I can't quite see what Soul is. It looks like we're going to have another Infernal Soul if it does get that far. It didn't quite get that far in the first game, and Eerie just barely misses the steal.
Almost there. Is very close to getting the steal with the Lux ult, but Martin Malice has played that game before and lands it with a smite, securing the first Drake for the side of McGill University as an Infernal Soul Drake. However, River Falls, they're just trying to recuperate the losses on the lanes. They don't want to lose any more tempo or waves than they have to, and Sivir is pushing up right into the middle lane.
We're just about to a 2K gold lead on River Falls. They've done a lot in the past couple of minutes, despite losing a Drake. And
it looks like Inhibitor Turret's actually next on the dock. I'm not sure when they got the tier 2, but they have 3 men pushing down with a small wave, and they're going to start doing some chip damage onto this bad boy.
Big Arrow Hunter's coming down. He says, don't start fighting without me. I'm here to push down this turret. I've got demolishers. Let me at him. He's got Triforce. Not quite sure what he could be building with his second item here, because that claw could go into anything. Set looking strong with this Bork, though. He's going to be having some attack speed, some life regen to go on top of his passive.
Ooh, enchanting with a bad trade.
Got
less
a
than
full
half
fight
health
coming
right
out
now.
here. 5v5 on the mid lane.
It's all going to be up to Arrow Hunter and Fridgley. The damage does come out from the Lux, but it's not going to matter too much, as Korean is just going to heal him up with that Seraphine ability.
It's going to give them a little bit of a detriment. River Falls is looking to juice them up a little bit before they go in, and it looks like we're going to have a stalemate and a respectful, all right, okay, we'll back off. This will be your turret.
And I think juice is the best way we can describe this Darius play right now. While River Falls has had some hiccups throughout this game, they still are in a dominant position to win.
Oh, the
blast
popper
cone
will
comes
catch
through.
out.
Oh, no, Fridgley with a double
Fridgley
suppression.
with a
The ult
double.
does come through. Eerie trying to make something work, but able to use the Lux ult in order to kill 2 of the members. Double kill right now for Fridgley. But, however, Fridgley and the Vex do fall. Now Eerie is next up on the chopping block. Is he going to be able to get away from Jagged Pantheon? Yes, he is able to land that root in time, and now
River Falls isn't done fighting. Arrow Hunter's still up. Arrow Hunter's still here. They've got a couple of weaklings up in front, and Gwen is just going to take it.
Arrow Hunter, despite being out of mana,
That's
is just
the
on
rest.
a rampage with the R button. Those executes are insane, and it's a deicide for River Falls.
McGill looking to be a little confident and slapped around for it as they went in and didn't see Arrow Hunter in the bush. Arrow Hunter was sitting there. He was waiting. They picked out that Gwen, and they finished that up real quick.
And I wonder if they're going to try and go for a Nexus turret here. There are 2 members on the side of McGill University
Set
that
was
are
looking
up
for
right
something.
now. Set is still looking for something. Arrow Hunter, despite being the monster he is still quite low in both health and mana. So I think they're just going to try and, cut their losses, back off. Great double suppression, double Skarner ult from Fridgley right there into the Eerie ultimate. That Lux did so much damage. I think Pizza Boy was just a little overextended there, gave them the reset they didn't need, but 2 kills on the board for 5 kills. You'll still take that if you're River Falls.
Oh, definitely. And River Falls is once again a little bit blind in the jungle, but McGill is pushing up onto their camps, getting some buffs here and pushing out some lane minions. As River Falls is more or less trying to regroup and grab some items here as Arrow Hunters grabbed a Sterax Gauge and a Chain Vest. Quite the back here. And we've got a couple of items here on our ADC as well. We've got Infinity Edge and the Mana Reaver, Essence Reaver. And we're gearing up for Baron, it's looking like. We've got some vision popped, and McGill is more or less none the wiser. Their ward does fall, so they know that they're in the pit, and here comes the popper, and they're going to have to fight for it. Pizza Boy's looking to keep him off. He's got a fear ready to go if they try to push up, but River Falls more or less uncontested. The Ezreal ult does come in a little bit too preemptively at 4K health. Set's looking for something, I don't know, maybe a flash over the wall, and yep, it'll stay uncontested as River Falls does secure this Baron. Looks like we're going to pop a few backs and regroup as a couple of them go back to the fountain, a couple of them will go up to top lane. Eerie clearing out some sight on the side of McGill. And meanwhile, on the bot side, we've got 4 grubs on the side of McGill, as we can't forget, so they are still able to shred some shield or shred some turrets, and they'll push that down. Arrow Hunter is at the bottom. He says, what are you doing on my bot lane turret?
The entire time River Falls was taking that Baron uncontested was because it was a 4v5. Jagged Pantheon was taking the first turret and the second turrets on the bottom lane, that entire Baron take right there, which means River Falls is none the wiser. However, you're going to trade 2 or 3, maybe even 3 turrets. As long as you can get the Baron and secure some inhibitor turrets of your own, you're sitting pretty. And Arrow Hunter wants to do just that. Great macro on the side of River Falls, knowing that we can split push. We have the Mega Minions in mid, right? We have the lane from the inhibitor turrets. Let's just do like a 4-1 push. Arrow Hunter's super strong. Ooh, and they get rooted. The W comes through for the set, but it's not going to matter. He wastes his flash as the Sivir secures that kill. Enchanting with another one on the board. It's going to be 3v4 in the top lane. Disadvantage McGill University.
That
Meanwhile, the Zed
does so much.
1v1ing down in the bottom lane. Pizza Boy going in in with an ultimate, but is the rest of the team there to help? No, he isn't. A little preemptive right there. Fridgley unable to get there in time, and I think it was a little bit of an overstep from the mid laner on River Falls. But like I said, meanwhile, Arrow Hunter with these buffed up minions 1v1ing Zed, taking the tier 2 tower, taking the inhibitor turret, and distracting the rest of the team so the rest of his team can take the top inhibitor. Arrow Hunter is just a monster in this game.
Well played. He just almost secures the bot lane turret, but the rest of River Falls is going to secure this top lane turret. They're chunking down the first Nexus turret to about half here, as the rest have to focus up, and looks like Arrow Hunter is going to secure that final turret on the bot side.
The attention is very divided. Ooh, the root lands for Eerie and the ultimate. Martin Malice is down. Fridgley is able to suppress the enemy Jagged Pantheon. The Gwen does get down, but not before the Skarner ult is popped. Jagged Pantheon falls. Smite is better, might be next. No, Destor trying to take the front line as the set. Does a lot of damage onto the Eerie, but the fleeing is too much. The fear is put into the hearts of McGill University as River Falls stomps them into a 2-0.
The overheal of the fountain. Enchanting almost got the kill on the Smite, but Smite was just barely getting overhealed by the fountain.
Oh my goodness.
Well played on the side of River Falls to finish out this second game.
An absolute stomp. We were talking about juicing, and oh my gosh, how juiced was that Darius. Solo taking the entire bottom lane, diverting the entire team's attention from that top inhibitor to the bottom inhibitor. They had to rotate Smite over at one point, and the tower still fell. There was nothing they could have done. He tried to pop the Ezreal, did about this much damage. One single W from the Darius, he's back up to full health. Nothing you can do after Arrow Hunter takes a lead like that.
They had 3 people pushing the top, and Arrow Hunter by himself pushing the bot. Arrow Hunter had 2 people on him. The Zed ult came out, didn't quite do anything. Zed tried to back out to defend his turret to kill those minions that were there, and Arrow Hunter said, "Get back here," and pulled him back in, and hit him with a little swish before the Zed was able to go back to his shadow step.
Fear and terror is the name of the game, and that's exactly what Arrow Hunter struck into the hearts of his enemies. A Ghost Darius is something you don't want to be staring down the barrel of, and it's going to be a 2-0 on this series for the side of River Falls. Congratulations to the boys. Great job from McGill University. They gave it all they could, but sadly, in the end, the better team just simply wins.
Absolutely. We'll be seeing River Falls playing some more esports of all kinds throughout the rest of the week and the rest of the coming weeks. So we'll see you on the next streams, and have a good one.
Absolutely.